Hi, welcome back to another reading of Hot Flash Divas. Today we're reading chapter 47, The First Date with Brent. Since I'd had some time to observe Brent beforehand, I allowed him to pick me up at my office. He arrived on time, which won big points with me. After some discussion, we decided to dine at Logan's. I'm not a lady who asks for a small salad and pushes it around with my fork. However, I don't eat a huge portion either. Once seated in the booth, I considered the menu. My mother taught me to be mindful of the gentleman's budget. I could hear her in my head. Phoenix, choose one of the least 3 expensive entrees or order what the gentleman orders. I'd eaten here before and knew the portion sizes were daunting. I looked at Brent over the top of my menu. Would you consider splitting a meal? All their entrees are huge. From the smile on Brent's face, I knew I'd scored an atta-girl point with him. That's a sensible idea. His face glowed. The entree came and was more than enough food for both of us. I took the spare plate provided, portioned off a third, and gave Brent the rest. So what made you go back to college? I asked, while placing butter in my part of the steaming baked sweet potato. I worked for a local company and got caught in a big layoff. I enjoyed the time off for a month or two while I worked on my house and yard. The job market was lean at the time, so I decided the time was right to get a master's in computer science. What company? He told me, and I wasn't surprised. The company had a reputation of acquiring contracts and losing them, which caused massive layoffs. I needed a job that was flexible, so I accepted a position as an assistant to a professor at the University of Alabama here in Huntsville. His attention was on cutting a steak, which we both agreed to order medium. A lock of his dark hair fell over his forehead. I wanted to reach over and run my hand through it, to feel the texture, to smell the scent of his shampoo. What is it with hair and me? He looked up and I jerked. Is your food all right? He arched a brow. Great! I smiled and reached for my fork and knife. 30 minutes later, we declined dessert and Brent paid the bill. Logan's was located within a mile of the church gym used for the contra dances. We parked and followed the signs that directed us to a door at the back of the church, strolling hand in hand. We walked into the gym and Brent paid for the dance at a nearby table. He brought back a self-sticking name tag that said Phoenix. I peeled off the backing and plastered it over my heart. I soon learned contra dancing is similar to square dancing. However, it's danced in lines, not squares. I observed couples moving up and down the line, dancing with multiple people. A contra dance is a colorful sight, I said. You could say the dancers tend to gravitate toward unique attire, said Brent, slipping an arm around my waist. There were a combination of clothes at this dance that would make a New York fashion designer consider suicide. The ladies wore vibrant skirts that flared during turns, and the men wore shorts or jeans. I wore jeans, a t-shirt, and my flashing tennis shoes. If we come back, I'll wear a skirt. We held hands, waiting for the next set to begin. I was turning to sit in one of the metal chairs that lined 2 walls when I saw a man striding the door wearing a skirt. Not a kilt, a skirt. At least I thought it was a man. Is that a guy wearing that light blue skirt? I was trying not to stare. Brent peered over my head. That's a guy, or it's a really hairy woman. The music began, and Brent took me in his arms to the call, Swing Your Partner. The other unusual aspect of contra dancing is the disparity of the ages of the participants. I danced with the septuagenarian as we moved up the line, and Brent danced with the child. While this dance experience was out of the ordinary for me, it was upbeat. Contra dancing well done is fun. When I made a mistake, it was a hoot. I missed quite a few calls, so we often laughed our way to the next pattern. When I got lost, the more experienced dancers were kind enough to herd me to the next position. Smiling, Brent whispered in my ear a tidbit of sage contra wisdom. Better never than late. We left the dance tired, sweaty, and laughing. Brent drove me back to my office where he kissed me goodnight in his car. I looked into his eyes, ran my hands through his hair, and kissed him again. I loved the silky texture of his brown locks. He was warm and solid. I wasn't sure about my feelings for Brent, but he passed the kissing test with a 5-star rating. "I'd love to see you again sometime," Brent murmured in my ear. "You will, at the Psy.D event in October." He chuckled. "I want to see you before then." He had a nice laugh and an easy sense of humor. My commitment phobia meter still hovered somewhere around an 8 on a 1 to 10 scale. And I was skittish as a kitten surrounded by coyotes. Despite this, I agreed to another date. It was a fun and safe first date, which for me was just what I needed. The divorce had left me feeling as if someone had emptied a colossal injection of a numbing agent into the emotional center of my brain. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, leave comments. Be safe, be healthy, and I hope to see you next time.